All right, you guys, I am live tonight. Just trying to figure out my camera situation here, so just hold on for a second. I got a little rainbow over here working for you. Still crooked. I don't like it being crooked, so just bear with me. I don't know why I can't see, it's still crooked. I think it's better if I just turn the bottom, and of course they go the wrong way always. Let's try that. I don't know, I think it's still crooked. I don't know if that's any better or worse. It's worse. Hold on. Wish there's like a magic wand. You can just like... Oh, I think that's better. I'm going to try that and let's see. My laptop just needs to catch up so I can tell. Oh, I think I'm almost straight. There we go. I think I'm close enough. Welcome to my channel. It has been probably 2 weeks since I've been with you live. I returned, let's see, when did I get back home? I don't even remember. Let's see, Thursday, maybe Wednesday last week. I was hiking for 11 days. I was gone. And didn't hike all of those days, but I did almost finish the New York section of the Appalachian Trail, so I'm excited about that. I just need to go back in the fall when it's cooler to finish out 14.6 miles around Bear Mountain, which is near West Point. So my husband and I have decided we're going to go to a West Point football game, and I'll be able to do those 14 miles when we go over there in the fall. So with that said, I got to make a note to remind him to buy tickets because we can't go to the game if we don't have our tickets. So I've been doing a little bit of catching up. I haven't really been in my craft room much at all. I did spend some time yesterday working on some color coaches that I have here in front of me. And if you don't know what a color coach is, let me go grab my old one. I find them really, really helpful, especially if I'm like stuck on colors. This again is a really old one. You can see So Saffron is no longer a color of ours, but I keep them. So what this is all of either current or past colors that I've have. Like Grapefruit Grove is a really old one. I don't have that anymore, but it's going to stay in here. You just never know when. Maybe it'll come back. So what this is, these are laminated. These will not be laminated because they're so hard to laminate, and it just gets very very costly to create these when they're laminated. Plus, they take a lot more time because I like to curve the corners there, and I have to hand do that. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I wasn't able to do it before. So you can die cut out with tag dies, or maybe the textured notes dies would be another one. I just simply cut the cardstock down yesterday. I've got 8 of these going. And so one side is going to have the Stampin' Up! Color Coach on one side. So what this one is, here's Cajun Craze, and it's going to tell you what goes with Cajun Craze. Now this is outdated, but that's okay. My new ones will have the updated ones, but you can see So Saffron here was no, and Mary Merlot was not a color, but that's okay. It still helps me out. And you can just kind of flip through. Here's Pumpkin Pie. It just helps you with colors, and if you don't know what color to use, just get out your color coach. So I didn't know how to do this, like the best way to do it for me and be cost effective. So I cut down one sheet of cardstock, 8.5 by 11, and you can make 8 of them. If you cut your paper, so it's 8.5 by 11, you cut it in half at 4 1/4. So then you have 2 And then you can just cut these 2 3/4. So you're going to get 8 of them. So that's why I've got 8 of these going. And then I created a front and back side, which was kind of hard to do to get it all lined up. So let me see if yeah. So here is just the front cover, color code, Karen's rainbow order. This is my rainbow order. Your rainbow order may be different. And then just on the back side, I have my logo and my information. I'm not sure if I'm going to offer these as a item to purchase. Like I said, it takes a lot of time to do this. And I was going to use my cinch machine, but I'm really struggling with my cinch machine and getting that little spiral to not be so sharp, because you can punch I don't know if you're familiar with a cinch machine, but it's a binding machine. And I was able to cut or punch 4 circle holes. And then when I added it to the binder piece, when you cut that off, it was really, really sharp, and I don't know how to tone that down. So if you have any ideas, if you have a cinch machine, let me know, because I'd really love to be able to put a spiral bound on here rather than using one of these little rings. Okay, these are helpful because you can just flip like this, but I'm not going to have these laminated, so I wanted to put like a chipboard cover on or something. So if you have a mini or a cinch, let me know how you keep those little ends from not like being very, very sharp, because I can't figure it out. So this is in a holding pattern right now. So that was what I was doing yesterday. And then before I went on my hike, I was creating my little writing tablets. And if you remember, maybe you do, maybe you don't, I was kind of toying with the idea of adding some ribbon for more of a packaging look. So right before I came on, I added some ribbon to the packaging, and you can see if I put these side by side how nice it looks with just a piece of ribbon tied around and a bow on the front. Now this would be part of the expense of, if you're doing this for a craft fair, gifts, you know, you can still, it makes a really nice packaging like idea, rather than just leaving it blank on the front. You can add some ribbon. And what I do was I just went to my stash. I love to purchase any of the ribbon that's on our last chance list, because it's always on sale. And I know some of the ribbons that are there will work really, really nicely for this project. Another way I do is I still have some of my grandmother's ribbon, so I will add that as well. So for instance, let me just see what I have. I'll just kind of show you. It's really, really simple to do this. But let me just put some of these out here so I can see my colors, and then I'll quickly look up and see what I might have for some ribbon that might work. I want to do this. There's a lot of green in this one here, and then that's berry burst. So let me just see if I can find something. This might work. Let's see. I don't even know what this, I think it's Island Indigo. Oh, it is. So this used to be a color, Island oh, this works really good. Look at this one. Island Indigo used to be a color of ours. And I've got this ribbon. It's just sitting on my shelf. It's been sitting on my shelf for such a long time, but why not use it, right? And if it's on sale, like go to the product, last chance product list, and you'll see a lot of ribbon on sale. You'll see other things too. There's Christmas paper. There's embellishments. There's stamps, bundles, all kinds of good things there. So always check out that last chance list. It used to be called our clearance rack. So now it's got a new name, and it's called Last Chance. So You guys know I struggle with bows all the time, but I'm just gonna wing it here. And then here's another one. You can also do, I did tie one with just a knot like this. And that looks really good too if you don't want to use as much ribbon, because you'll use more ribbon with tying a bow versus the knot. You'll save a little bit of money and make a little bit more profit. So let's see if I've got another one here that I can just quickly do. It'd be nice to get these all done, right? And now I know this one won't work with any of the other ones that I have. So let me just do one more. Let's see. I got a green up here. So this is my grandmother's. So let's see if that one would work, or this one. I got some evening evergreen as well. So this is my grandmother's. It's kind of like I think it's a 1/4 of an inch, or it's 1/8 of an inch. So really not sure if this will work or not. But let's try it with this one here. I think this is lemon lime twist. But let's just see. Sometimes the prices were on here, and my grandmother was so thrifty that a lot of her ribbon was like maybe 25 cents. But back in the day, in the 70s, 25 cents was a lot of money back then. All right, so this one is 1/8 of an inch. It may not work as good, but the color works. So let's just see what I can do with this one. And I think I'm like a little, oh my gosh, sorry. Oh my gosh, hold on. I just totally flipped my camera. There we go. Oh, there I am. Sorry about that. I tipped my mount and it went flying. I've done that before. Actually, I've done that, and I've actually tripped over my embossing machine live. So what you see is what you get. I'm just going to do one more and we'll see. Yeah, actually that was really easy to tie. There you go. So it's something that you might want to consider adding if you're going to be offering anything like this. So we'll put these all out here so you can kind of see the ribbons there. And then I've got the Blackberry Bliss, which is really pretty. Even though the Blackberry Bliss, it's kind of in that, this is a little bit darker. So then you can see those versus here's something that's really not packaged like the others. So it's just kind of, I say, boring. So adding a piece of ribbon there may work. So just something to give you an idea. So let me get these all wrapped up and we'll move on. So back to those color coaches. If you are interested in maybe possibly ordering them, I don't even know what a price would be yet. You can just, I'll release that on my website. So if you're not on my email list, that's another place I will release it. You'll just need to sign up, and you can do that at my website, which is inspiredbygraham.com. Just fill out that little pop-up. Excuse me. One last thing is on the 20th of this month, today's the 16th, I am going to be closing out my June card club. And these are the cards we'll be making. And they're really cute, especially adding Winka Stella, excuse me, to the little drinks, and especially that little orange slice there. So this is how I designed them. Wednesday, oh, and I did a little cutout and added it to the front of the envelope. Wednesday is a Wing It Wednesday, and I'll be live at 10 o'clock Wednesday. What I'm going to do is, instead of beverages, I'm going to take probably 2 of these designs and redesign it basically the same way, but using, instead of the beverages, the other side of the paper, because some people may not enjoy beverages. Okay. And they may want the flip side, which is more of a floral version. So I'm going to try to make some floral cards with these same layouts. So we'll see what that goes like on Wednesday. That's kind of why I call it Wing It Wednesday. I never know what I'm going to be doing. And that'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time. Now for this month, for June, I am offering a special, and you can get that all at inspiredbygraham.com. Normally it's $40 for a recurring subscription, but for this month I have a try it kind of month for new subscribers or past subscribers that want to rejoin. You can rejoin for the month of June at a lower price. You can also purchase this as a one-time purchase for $45, or you can just order the PDF for $20. So I've already done a couple marketing emails on that. So if you miss them, be on my email list. So let me go not over to my other desk, and I'm going to look around and see what else. Nope, I don't have anything else. So I'm going to make 2 cards tonight. I guess I can call this Wing It Monday because I really didn't have anything planned. I was gone all day long, finishing out my parents' estate finally. So I was gone from, oh geez, I had a medical appointment at 7 o'clock. So I've actually been on the road since like, I don't know, 20 after 6 this morning. And I got home at, what time? 4:30. So really, I didn't have a lot of time to myself in my craft room. And usually Mondays I'm in my craft room all day long working. So, but anyway, I found a couple of kits that I haven't made yet. You may have seen these, you may not have. But if you have, stick around and watch me recreate them again. This one over here using Petunia Pop, I'm just going to wing it on that one. But this, okay, I want to show you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I think you can. So I had all of these card kits in one of those little bins, and it was just sitting on my desk by the window. Don't ever do that, because look what happened to my cardstock. You can see it got a little distorted with the colors. So I had something on these. This is the real color, and or no, this is the real color, and this was exposed to sunlight. So don't ever do that. Make sure that your paper's covered up. This side is great, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to just cover that up with the paper and no one will ever know. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to need a piercing mat. I'm using the Impressions of Bloom stamp set. I have used this one in the past. It's an online exclusive. I'm going to be using all of these little flowers here. And thanks so very much. On this one, I'm using Secret Sea, and let's see, what am I using? Secret Sea, Darling Duckling, and you know what? I think I need to run over and get Peach Pie because I grabbed Timid Tiger. And I don't think that's going to work. So let me grab the Peach Pie. It's going to be a little bit different. Maybe I can use the highlight color with Timid Tiger and Peach Pie as the bold color. I do have some basic white that I'm going to practice on first. So we're going to get our stamping done first, and then we'll move on to assembly. So for the stamping, I have the Textured Notes die, which if you don't have these, you should. They're beautiful. And then I have a piece of white that is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. It's actually the same size as that Color Coach, so we'll need to stamp on that one. And then I just have a random envelope. This is a basic, no, I don't think this is a basic white one. It's just a random one I found in my craft room, and you can tell it's not because it's a different color. I'm going to use it up. I think that's all I need for stamping. One gift I'd made to myself was I purchased a new Stampin' Pierce mat. So now I have one for both desks, and hopefully I can keep them on their individual desks. Also have a new Stampin' scrub, which is on my other desk too. So that way I won't be running back and forth and not knowing where things are. I grabbed a piece of scrap paper because I want to protect that Stampin' Scrub. And I think what I'll do first is I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and that will be stamped in Secret Sea, which is our new ink color. It's a deep blackish blue color. And the thanks very much, I'm going to stamp 2 different ways. So I've got the thanks. You can mount these on the same block if you want, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just stamp twice. So we got thanks over there. And then I have the or so very much. And I'm just going to stamp it over here. This was one of our card club cards last month. So if you are in my card club, you would recognize this one. So the sentiment's all done. We're done with the Secret Sea. And now I'm going to practice my colors. This is a 2-step stamping technique. So I'm going to try my highlight color with Timid Tiger and the solid color in Peach Pie. The center is going to be using Darling Duckling. So to practice, I am going to, let's see, we'll start with a larger flower. So this is a solid one. There's no it's just smooth. And then this is the detailed stamp, which I'll stamp in the Timid Tiger. So let's grab my Peach Pie. And we are going to stamp this. And I'm going to stamp off because this is going to be too dark. Okay. So if I do a stamp off and then stamp on, it's much lighter, as you can tell. Okay, well, very much later. So then I'm going to take my Timid Tiger, and this will be used. I'll be using first generation ink because I want the detail to be really dark. And also, you want to find a leaf that you can really visually see very quickly. And I like to choose this one here because it's straight across and it has a little white space in between. And I know it's going to be this one here on that detailed stamp. So I'm going to bring this a little bit closer because this is going to be a little tricky doing this on camera where I can't get my head in there. So let's see. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. I think it might be too dark. It's very bold. And that's kind of what it's going to look like on the inside. You know what? I'm going to go with it, and then we can just compare. Why not? I don't care. And then I'm going to use the Darling Duckling for the center. And so if I do that, you can do a number of things. You'll need the bigger circle. There's 2 different sizes. So this is the one here. It's about 1/2 inch. And if I choose to do this solid in the Darling Duckling and first generation ink, and then if I pick up the Timid Tiger for the center, let's see what that looks like. It's not too bad. It kind of blends it all together. You can add a bit of Wink of Stella on there to make it really shine. So totally up to you on how you create your flowers. First generation, second generation, and maybe even a third generation. So let's see what we can do. I think I will most definitely do second generation, stamp second generation ink in Peach Pie. So again, I'm looking for that leaf that goes straight across. And I'm just going to ink that up and stamp off over here. And this is the biggest flower in the set, so I'm going to stamp it up in this corner here. And then let me grab that highlight stamp, and I'll ink that up in Timid Tiger. Again, I'm looking for that petal that is going straight across. And we're only got a little bit of it on here. So let's see if I can get this. All right, and now I'm going to add the, let's see, Darling Duckling in the solid color. Now you can leave it like that if you want, but if you use the other stamp, it's got that little detailed in it. And I'm going to pick up the Timid Tiger for the center of that. All right, we're going to let that dry. It's humid here today, so we'll see how it all dries. It may take a while to dry, so we'll just play it by ear. Now, the next flower we have it's the same way. We've got a solid stamp. Okay, so I'm going to stamp these the same way. So we'll take the peach pie and I'm going to stamp off. And then let me see which. I'm going to stamp this one over here. So it's just barely on there. Okay. And then we will take the detailed part of that stamp and I'll do the same thing, ink it up with Timid Tiger and figure out which way. So again, if I put this right where I stamped onto the scrap paper, that's the flower. And then I'm looking for the big space between those two petals, which is right here. And this is super hard to do. So if these don't line up, that's why, because I can't get my head in there. And now this flower uses a smaller circle. So we'll take the solid and ink that up in Darling Duckling, first generation, and then we'll take the Timid Tiger and add that to the middle there. So we've got a little bit of detailed showing there. And then finally, there's another stamp, a medium size, which we will do the same thing. We're going to stamp in Peach Pie, second generation, and I'm going to stamp that one right up there. And then find that detailed one that goes with it. We'll take Timid Tiger and let's see. I don't know if I'm going to get this one right or not. Okay, I'm looking at this right here, and I think it's this one over here. So we'll just try to see if this lines up. I didn't stamp that very well, but if I shoved it up a little bit more, it would have been fine. So then we'll take the Darling Duckling and fill in the center there. Oops, I can do a better job than that. So let me just fill in a little bit more. And then we'll take that detailed one and use the Timid Tiger. Okay, this is got to dry. It's got lots of ink. You can see it almost went all the way through the basic white. Again, it's because it's humid. So I'm going to set that aside. And while that's drying, we can assemble the card. We'll close these up. So I used Peach Pie, Timid Tiger, and Darling Duckling for this one. And Secret Sea for the sentiment. All right, let's bring in that silicone craft sheet. Look at how sparkly and clean this one is. It is so nice to see something new like this in my craft room. The only thing I forgot was to purchase another one of these silicone craft sheets. So that is on my next order. Okay, so we've got the Peach Pie. And let me grab Mark's ruler so you can see where the score lines go. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. And it is scored. So if you put it in your scoring or your Stampin' Trimmer, you score it at 2 3/4, and then you could just turn it around and score it again at 2 3/4, or you can move it all the way over and then you would score it at 8 1/4. Sometimes I just find it easier just to turn it around if it's equal distance. Okay, so your card is going to be opening this way. You could make it go this way if you wanted to. Let me think if I can do that. It would just be, no, I can't because the way I cut the paper here, because that is directional. All right, so let's put these two together. And I've got my Stampin' Seal. We'll use this one until it runs out, and then I've got some Seal Plus over there. Got that on there, and we're going to cover up that. Or actually, I can just flip it over, and I know this side is all peach pie. That darn sun, I don't know how it's been so rainy and cloudy here this like late spring, early summer, that I don't know if we'll ever see like 2 days in a row of sun. Now, this I've got to cover up because it's got that like stained sun. I'm going to put it on the bottom. And then I've got 2 panels of basic white, and they are 4 inches across by 2 1/2 inches, and it's embossed with a damask embossing folder. And hopefully I said that correctly. I always worry about that one because I really want to say damask, but it's damask. I have my team correct me all the time. I'm always second guessing. Oh, and there's also a right and wrong way. So there's a little stem. So make sure you're looking for the little stem before you add it on. And we've got equal distance of border there. All right. And then we're going to add this one here. Same thing. Same size. This is a great card to mass produce. If you're looking to mass produce cards like at Christmas time. This is a great Christmas design as well. We'll be having some Christmas paper coming out real soon. All right, so that's what that looks like so far. Very easy. This has been really easy. And so when how we want to add this on is you want to give it a little bit of height. You don't want to just stick it down on that white because it kind of gets lost. If you add dimensionals, it's going to raise it a little bit. So what you don't want to do is put dimensionals on the bottom here, because then you won't have any way of opening the card, right? You want to be able to flip it up this way. So that means, oh, look at that. That's going to look horrible. Oh, how can I fix that? I don't have any DSP to do that right now. Normally, I would have recut that, but I should have put this paper on the other side. Can I take this off? Well, let's just check it out to see if I can. Peel this off with, I got my heat tool here, so maybe this is a learning session as well. Let me try to see if I got my crafting tweezers here. Yes, I do. So let me show you how I would do this. I think I'm just going to have to use my fingers. Okay, I'm going to turn my embossing tool, my heat tool on. It's going to make noise. And I'm only going to put it on the low heat. So if you just peel it off really carefully, it's heating up that adhesive. I'm trying to be really careful because this is the side I'm going to see. Okay, that worked. What I do need to do is run over and get my adhesive remover and just erase this adhesive, because you're going to see this. Oops, my table's moving. I'm just going to feel where that adhesive is. It's actually easy to see because it's still a little bit warm from the heat tool. I apologize if my camera is rocking back and forth. All right, I think that's good enough. I can go back and get the rest of it, get it off later. Now, this looks like a really big hot mess, right? Because it's all crinkled up. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm pretty sure I can get this to stick on. What I'll do is I'm just going to add a little bit more adhesive here. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so it's going to go on that side that's stained. It's a little off center, but that's okay. I don't mind. You can take your bone folder just to really give it a good press back and forth. And I would do that on both sides, just so it's really stuck down. Now the dimensionals, let me grab some scraps here that I have left over. Like I said, you're only going to want to put them on the top part, okay, because you want to be able to still flip this up, okay? So just kind of estimate where that halfway mark is. So I'm going to put one here. And I don't want to waste all this, so let me just cut these down real quick. And we'll put one here. I'll probably put 5 on. Excuse me. And then we'll just peel these off, throw them on the floor. We'll get them later with the broom. And then we're going to center this on. I'm only going to put it on I'm just going to tack it down so I can flip it over and make sure there's no dimensionals that are seen on the back side. I can see them right here. They're covered up, so we can't see them over here. And that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, but now we'll take that sentiment and I'm just going to put it in the middle just to break up this area here. So we'll grab our dimensionals again, and I'm going to cut these down to save some money here. These came from one of our kits. So I'm just using this up, and I'll add 3. Oops. And then we just peel these off. You can add some ribbon underneath if you wanted to. Probably linen thread looks really nicely. We could grab, let me run over and grab the peach pie. And I'm also going to grab some gold in case the peach pie might be too heavy. So I've already got this down, but what I'll do is I will add some Stampin' Seal Plus in the middle here. And then I'm going to take my ribbon. And what I like to do is, let me move that washi tape. I like to, well, stay off my fingers here. I like to take it and kind of pinch it in the middle and then bring it back and pinch it in the middle again. And let me grab my scissors here and just angle cut it. And then I gotta fix this side here too, because it did fray somewhere here. And then we can add this, like probably at an angle, because your sentiment is going to be going across, and you want to add it so it's kind of pointed up. You can also add some tape to tape it down, or some mini glue dots. And I'm going to just add seal because I don't have any of that right with me. Try to get this again. Let's start over. Okay, I think that will be held down. Okay. Now we'll take the sentiment and I'm just going to hold it over. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. I like the colors because it looks so good together. But I think it's just too heavy. Let me just try this gold trim that I have real quick. Just the warning, my husband's watching Seinfeld downstairs, so he's already starting to laugh. There we go. I'm going to trim down those tails in just a second. And I'm going to see if I have any random embellishments, which I don't have at my desk, so that's okay. I'll put embellishments on it later. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not, but that's just another option you can do. And then we'll take that inner piece here, and it's just going to simply go right on. You can actually put it down at the bottom too. You can either at the top or the bottom. For this one, I think I'm going to add this so that the bottom, the flower's on the bottom corner instead of the top. It's also personal preference. You can hit it with some Wink of Stella like I had explained earlier. So I just like to kind of brush stroke the darker areas. Maybe the middle a little bit. And there you have it. So let me put these two side by side so you can kind of see the difference between adding the ribbon underneath and just keeping it very, very simple. Honestly, adding that ribbon right here, I don't even really think you need any embellishments. You get the shininess from the gold ribbon anyway. So let me know what you like. Do you like it with the ribbon or no ribbon and embellishments? These are the Blooming Pearls, which I colored in using the Stampin' Blends. I colored them in, I believe, Timid Tiger. That is your first one. And then I'm going to clean my stamps because I need to actually use them, I believe, for the next card. So while you guys are all discussing which one you like, I'll be cleaning up my stamps. I really like, I think I like I'll tell you what I like in just a second. How about that? I don't want to influence any of you guys out there watching. I haven't seen any votes come across, so don't be shy to vote. It's okay. Although my laptop sometimes delays the messages as well. Sometimes I don't even see them at all. Any comments? All right, I think I've got all these cleaned. I'm going to move on to another one, and I'm going to have to experiment with this card as well. So I'll put these off to the side. And this one, I don't have a sample card, so I'm going to wing it and see. Here's two other cards I made with the Impressions of Bloom and a different, I'm not sure what that sentiment was. So you can kind of see some different designs here. I love the brush brass butterflies with this card too. Just one single butterfly. Okay, we've got Petunia Pop on this one. And it's very similar, but this is a bookbinding card. So it's very easy to do. And it's great when you cut your paper so that you've got a puzzle piece. All right, so I cut this one. It was, I think, a 4x4, and then I just cut it like 2x4. But you can see how the pattern goes together. And then when you split them apart, it's kind of cool how it all works. So I'm going to do some stamping first. I've got the Everyday Arches dies, so they're going to get married together here. And I didn't know what color I wanted to use, so I pulled out the Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. I guess another color that would have been good would be Fresh Freesia. I just don't know. I want a lighter color, and this is where my color coach would come in really handy. And it would help me figure out what color goes with Petunia Pop the best. So sometimes I just have to kind of put them here and see. I might, let's see, what do I want to do? I might do these, stamp these together. And the same thing, what I'll do is I'm going to grab my paper, some basic white scrap, and see what we can get with this one. And I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to use that lighter color for the solid stamp, and then we'll stamp that one off. And it's going to be just on this piece here. So I only want to probably stamp one flower somewhere because I've got the sentiment to add on here as well. Okay, so let's grab my scrap, and we'll find this. We'll use this one. So this is a solid, and we'll just stamp down there and then stamp over here. And then I'm going to take that highlight stamp and use a Strawberry Slush in full strength. So I'm looking for that good opening here, and hopefully I can get this better. All right, and then on this, so that's first generation, and then this is going to be second generation on that solid. Boy, I cannot see this. Hold on. Ooh, I like that. Most definitely. Oh, shoot. All right, I'm frozen. So hold on. My laptop's frozen, but you guys are good. Hi, Debbie. Thumbs up. Thank you. So I think I'm going to do that, but I wonder what Petunia Pop for the center would look like. So let's grab that. And I might want to stamp that off. So let's try that. We've got the solid, and then second generation. And then if we find that detailed one, we can go yeah, that just looks like a blob. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't think it's gonna work because it's just not the right color. So let me just clean these real quick, and I'm going to bring in the Strawberry Slush for the center. I didn't want to do Darling Duckling because that's what we did previously. So we will take Strawberry Slush and stamp off, and then stamp on. And then this one is full. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go with this scheme right here. My laptop, I can't see comments anymore, unfortunately. Sorry about that. It's all locked up. So I'm just going to keep going and see how I do here. All right, let's grab that scrap paper because we want to protect that Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to grab that solid stamp once again, wherever I put it. Here's the detailed one. And that's that one I need, and I need this one. And I need this one. And where is that one? It's right in front of me. I know it is. Like, honestly, can't even, there it is. No, that's not right. Where did it go? Oh, it's over there on my stack of ink pads. Okay, so let's take that strawberry slush. I'm going to stamp off, and let's stamp on. And then we'll take that detailed stamp, finding that open like V. And I want to pull this in here so I can do a good job here for you. There's that one, stamped off just a little bit. But let's try to fill it up and mix it all together in that center so we can't really even tell. There we go. Oh, I think that's really pretty. I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to that, so let's do that right now. Now I'm going to use I Appreciate You. And let me find a piece of scrap here because I'm going to fussy cut this out. And this is going to get stamped with the strawberry slush. And I'll quickly fussy cut this out. My door is opening. I'm not sure if it's my cat that wants to come in or if it's just the wind. I think I stamped on basic white thick because it's not flowing very good, or else it's just the darn humidity here. So we'll just get this cut down real good quickly. All right. So I'm going to let this set aside over there. I might chop it down a little bit. And we'll pull in that silicone craft sheet. And we're going to finish up the card here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put adhesive down here because this is a book binding card. So I want this portion stuck down. So I would definitely most likely use Seal Plus, or you can use your tear and tape. Oh shoot, I hate when that does that. It does that because I wasn't holding it up. Okay, so if you ever have that problem where it rips the paper, it's because you got it down too horizontally. I don't know if that's a word or not, or phrase. Hold it upright and then you'll get a nice smooth adhesive grip. All right, so we're just gonna press that down. I'm gonna use my bone folder just to get it some more good pressure on there, and then we'll burnish it back and forth. So it's kind of opening up like this. I've got a piece of basic white that is going to get stuck on right here, but we're going to turn it so that stem is on the bottom. And then this just gets centered on this section here. And then let's look at the designer paper once again, just to make sure I have it correctly, so that we've got our pattern going. So then this is going to get stuck on here. And then this is going to go here. And then we've got our focal point. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm throwing everything around here. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'll just take this. This side of the paper would look really good with Blackberry Bliss as your cardstock color. All right, this is not working for me because I'm right at the edge. Okay. I want to get it the same height as that white. I think this might be cut just a little wrong. There we go. There's a little tiny border here. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then this one here is going to get stuck right there because now we've got that look of the puzzle coming together. Oh, did it again, darn it. Yeah, I didn't cut that correctly, but that's all right. All right, so we've got that. Now on the inside, I didn't stamp anything on the inside because I forgot. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to use that. Why don't I just use that same set that I used on the front? So I've got the detailed stamp, and then I've got the solid one. So let me just stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp over here. And then take that detailed one in full strength strawberry slush and find that V. And sorry if I off camera here. And then I'll find my solid. There's the detailed one. There it is. And we'll stamp off this one. Where is it? I can stamp on this little scrap. And then fill in that center. And then full strength strawberry slush. And I got my little pinky in the in the ink. So we'll wipe that on my pants. Let's add a little bit of bling with the Wink of Stella. So it gets a nice little sparkle. And then this is going to get adhered right, not with the ribbon. A little rusty, you guys. It's okay though. I know you'll forgive me. It's been a while. All right, and then I'm going to add this one. Strawberry slush and petunia pop. I think it looks good together. Okay, and then don't forget we've got this focal point, and we'll do the same thing we did on that previous card. So these two are going to go together. You can actually pop up this white. Let's do that. Oh, actually, let me try that. I do like to pop up my focal points a little bit differently. You can see I printed on that. It's just a scrap. Let me grab my whatever I have left for dimensionals here. Sometimes you can just tear them. I got a busy week this week. I have my day job tomorrow. Wednesday I have my live, and then I'm heading to Connecticut to watch my grandsons for about 24 hours. And then I got to head back to work. And then I have Friday, I'm teaching my independent living class on Friday because that's rescheduled. I was supposed to be back from my hike sooner than and I wasn't back in time, so I postponed that to Friday, and they were okay with that. So now we're going to flip this over. Dimensionals only get to be put on this side here because we want to keep that free. And I'm all done that one. So let's grab another sheet. I have little strips here. And again, we're only putting them on one side. And we'll just tack those on gently before we adhere them down. So I want to put this arch in the center of that opening. And again, just tack it down. And then we're going to open it up just to make sure there's no dimensionals over here. And there's not, so we'll press it down. So now we have our little sentiment that says, I appreciate you. And sometimes I like to cut these down. So I think actually that's what my sample card was. I had taken these 3 words, I appreciate you, and I cut them down. So they're their own individual piece. And then we'll add dimensionals to the back side of these. Just shape this up a little bit better. And let's see what we have here. Sometimes these strips come in really handy. All right. So we've got all of these 3 words on their own. I got too much in my way here. So the biggest word is appreciate. So let's work with that one first. I'm just going to, oops, that needs to be cut down a little bit. It's got a point. So appreciate is the biggest word. So I'm going to put that one in the middle. Just tack it down. And then U is going to get tacked down right here. And then I is going to be over here. Wait. There we go. And if you're happy with it, and just press it down really good. And then you can open it up like this. You can also, like I have a strip of designer paper. You can add this to the inside here, which I kind of like that. Let's do that. I'll just add it right here. And then I don't have any embellishments on my desk right now, so we will just go with that. But let's get this cleaned up so we can see the card versus like all this mess. And I think, no, I did not add Wink of Stella here. So let's do that. And the envelope, I would stamp the same way. I'd stamp the flower on the corner of the envelope and call it good. I was so mad. So today I went to the post office, not from my local town, but where I used to live, because that's where my parents' estate was. So I brought a bunch of cards in there. Thank you cards for people donating to the Alzheimer's Hiking for a Cure. And she goes, let me see those. I'm like, okay. Well, these are going to be non-machinable. And I said, you know what? Let me just take them to my local post office because they will mail them at the regular postage rate. So that's what I did. And I don't care what she thinks, but she was rude. She was very rude, and I didn't appreciate that. So my post office is nicer than that one. Anywho, let's see. That's that one. So we got that damask embossed strip here in white. And then it ties in real nicely with the embossed damask panels on the back side. So they both flip. Very simple. And then this one flips like this. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Here's the one that doesn't have the ribbon behind it. So, and then here's a couple other cards I made with the set. The dies have some really cute flowers that die cut like this with the little etching in there, and especially in the middle. So if you don't have this one, consider purchasing it. Is online exclusive. So we'll have more online exclusives coming out very quickly soon. And then we'll have a few new kits as well. We're getting ready for that holiday catalog. So the mini catalog will be coming out to demonstrators. When is it supposed to be coming out? It's June, July. I think July we can pre-order, but don't quote me on that because I'm still catching up. And so if you are not a demonstrator and you want to get your hands on the holiday mini, you might want to think about joining our Team Inspired Daisies. We have a team meeting tomorrow night, so I will be seeing whoever can come to my team meeting tomorrow night. It's not mandatory, so, but I do appreciate faces instead of no faces at all. But anyway, if you're interested in Stampin' Up! And Inspired Daisies, give me a shout. I'd love to speak with you about that. I'll see you Wednesday morning if you can make it at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and I will take those drink cards, we'll call them the drink cards, and I'll change them up to more of a floral look for you. All right, so thanks for joining me tonight. I don't know if anybody's watching still, but I'm going to sign off and clean up my desk, and I'm going to go crochet because I'm creating another blanket for my nephew and his bride wedding in October. So I've got to get that one done as well. So I just going to go have a relaxing evening in front of the TV and probably pass out. All right, you guys, I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you.